as well. So you're the younger fighter in this matchup. You're often fighting older guys, I guess, because you're so young. I just wonder, does it make it that little bit more special beating up an older man, being the young guy in the fight?
Yeah, I feel like it gives me more of an advantage. I have a little bit more energy. They're always a little bit stronger, but it is what it is being a young guy in this game. But I feel like the sport favors the younger men.
And I know recently you took up videography. Can you just explain to me how that's been going and how that's been developing?
Yeah, that's been really good. I really enjoy it. I think it's really entertaining because it's really creative. It's like fighting. You get to be creative. So I really enjoy it. You know, I've been making a few ads for gyms and friends, highlight reels and stuff like that. So it's been really fun.
I think we should look out for.
Soon I'm gonna make a little highlight of this fight. After this fight, I'll be releasing it. So.
All right, thanks, JJ.
Thank you.
All right, our next question will go to Steve Jewin.
Thank you. And JJ, my question is that both you and our previous guest, Solo Hatley Jr., were wearing a mask for today's webinar. And I'm wondering if you can tell us a little about the safety and health protocols going into the Bellator card on Friday, what they've had you do in terms of testing, quarantine, your team, all of that.
Yeah, Bellator's been really on top of the pandemic. Before we even got on our flight, we took a test, and then upon arrival, we had to take another test, and then we were quarantined with our team inside our rooms. You know, mandatory mask and everything. So I think they've been really on top of this pandemic for this fight. Definitely.
All right. Thank you.
All right, our next question will go to Brian Peters. Your line is now live.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so you are obviously a great grappler. However, how do you feel your stand-up, your striking will fare against Claxton?
I feel like my striking is amazing. You know, I've been doing kickboxing since I really started martial arts. So I've had over 12 kickboxing fights. So you guys haven't been able to see that yet. So I'm looking to demonstrate that for you guys in this fight.
All right, our next question will go to Mike Heck.
Hey, JJ. I'm just curious. You've been a part of some big cards since you've been with Bellator. You've had 5 pro fights, and 4 of them have been with Bellator, and a lot of these cards have been massive cards. So what does it mean to you to be a part of the return after all this time off for the organization?
It's amazing. You know, since the very beginning, I got to fight on really big name cards like Fedor and really big names, Casagano and all those other cards that I fought on. It's been amazing. And to be able to be on the first card back after the pandemic is it's even better. They allow me to do what I love, and that's what the best thing is about this.
How have you sort of been handling the pandemic as far as training, preparation, things like that? Because this card kind of came together quickly. I assume you've been still doing what you can to work out and get ready for the fight. How has that been in preparation for this fight?
You know, we had a small group. We had some wrestlers. We had a few jiu-jitsu people and a few strikers. And we kept a close group just in between our coaches and our training partners, just like 2 or 3 training partners of each aspect of the game. And we just worked through. And the quarantine didn't really affect me. It's good because it started to come back. The gym started to open back up in California. But then Governor Newsom closed down all indoor activities just a couple of weeks ago. So that was unfortunate, but it didn't affect us because it was already the end of the camp.
And then last thing for me, you're facing a guy with a lot of hype behind him in Tywan Claxton. He was part of the Grand Prix, looking to make some moves in his own right in his career. You're undefeated, looking to make a name for yourself. Do you feel like you're kind of sneaking in here and getting ready to steal some shine, like you're flying under the radar?
Yeah, for sure. I think I've flown under the radar the whole time, and I finally got a shot against someone that has a name. So I'm ready to show the world what I've got. And in this fight, I think everyone's gonna realize that I'm the real deal. You know.
Thanks, JJ. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from the line of Matthew Putterman. Your line is now live.
Hey, JJ, it's Matthew from MyMMAnews.com. My question is to you is what motivates you more, coming off of a loss or coming off of a win from a fighter's perspective?
That's a good question. Probably both, because if you come off a win, you want to keep winning. If you come off a loss, you have more kind of like need to win, because you know you're always chasing that feeling. So I think they're both equally the same. I can't separate them.
Okay, definitely. And where do you see yourself here in the next 5 years in this Bellator MMA promotion?
With the belt around my waist.
And as you see the Bellator World Featherweight Grand Prix is still going on, it's on a little bit of a pause right now due to the pandemic. Who do you see in the finals, and who do you have winning that Grand Prix?
Probably Patricio. You know, he's Pitbull. He's a beast, man. Can't really, you know, he's been dominating for a long time, so I think he's gonna carry on. I want to be the one and to take that from him.
My last question is for you. What motivates you to get up in the morning to train every day? And this is a tough sport, training 2-3 times a day. What is your drive to get up in the morning to want to become the best fighter in the world?
You know, I've had a lot of hardships in my life, and martial arts has always saved me from those hardships. So when I wake up, it's a no-brainer. I don't even second guess it, you know, to want to get up and train. It's just, for me, it's just life. It's just who I am. I know that's my passion. I know when I wake up in the morning, first thing I have to do is go to the gym and train. It just became who I am, and that's how it motivates me. Is I've seen all the hardships that I've been through and my family goes through, and I know through my hard work and my dedication that it will take me to a better place. And that's how I motivate myself to get up every morning and go put on work.
Definitely. That's all I have for you. Thank you very much.
Our next question will come from Andrew Benjamin. Your line is now live.
Hey, Jay. My question is, have you increased the amount of wrestling that's done in your camp to prepare for Claxton's ground and pound attack? Or is it a matter of just honing in your grappling skills and focusing on just what you can do best?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Sorry about that. Yeah, so have you increased the amount of wrestling done in your camp to prepare for Claxton's ground and pound? Or are you just honing your grappling skills right now and focusing on a regular camp that you normally do for your fights?
So my camp never really changes. I always have the same kind of schedule that I do for every camp. It's just inside the camp we readjust specific training on what the opponent is good at. For example, he's a good wrestler. So we bring in a lot of lifetime wrestlers to so I can adapt my grappling to move with a lifetime wrestler, because a lifetime wrestler moves differently than a Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner. So you know, we made those little adjustments in there. You know, I'm not too worried about his ground and pound. My jiu-jitsu is on another level, and he's going to realize that when he gets in there with me. And if he manages to take me down, which I highly doubt he's going to be able to take me down, he's going to wish he never did it. You know, I'm going to catch him off my back or on top. So I made my adjustments, and we work. I have my jiu-jitsu, and we just modify it a little bit to be able to create openings so I can strike and open them up a little bit more, and to expose submissions. So yeah, we made our adjustments, so we're ready.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next question will go to the line of Joe McDonough. Your line is now live.
Hey JJ, we know you're world class in jiu-jitsu. It'll be a big weapon for you come fight night. You know, where do you rank Claxton's jiu-jitsu in comparison to yours?
His jiu-jitsu is like I can't rate his jiu-jitsu. I can rate his wrestling. He's an amazing wrestler, but his jiu-jitsu, I'm sorry, it's not good.
And with him being such a great wrestler, how much is cardio going to play into this fight?
100%. I think cardio is the one that wins this fight. You know, I can go all day. So I think cardio is what's going to win this fight for sure. He's super explosive, so we want to see how he does after I take away that explosive power from him, and I'll see what he's capable of then.
Awesome, JJ. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from the line of Ben Kiley.
Well, you've already got me. You've already asked the question.
All right, we'll move along. Matthew Putterman.
Hey JJ, it's Matthew from Anime News again. Hey, I know that training is a big, huge thing in your camp. Obviously, training is how you're going to get better. But what high-level guys are you training with, and what specific camp do you come out of? I'm not sure what camp you come out of.
For striking, I'm working with Janex. He works with Jeremy Stevens and Kate Sagano and all these fighters. So that's my coaches, and they bring in bodies for me and people for me to work with. So
What would you say your biggest attribute is?
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for sure.
Okay, that's all I got for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, our final question will go to Brian Peters. Your line is now live.
Hi, Jay. It's Brian again. What did your training look like throughout this pandemic? Was there a lot of changes? Was it hard? I know you're out in the New Zealand area, which is pretty good with the pandemic right now, but was it kind of normal at this point because it's normal there?
So what happened was when this pandemic first hit, I was actually in New Zealand, and it was straight after my fight. I thought I'd go home for 1 month and spend some time with my family, go back to my old gym, show some love over there, and train with my old training partners and coaches over there. And I managed to, my flight, I flew back to San Diego, where I now live, 2 days before the lockdown in New Zealand. So I got lucky to be able to leave New Zealand. And then when I got back, I found it really hard to train because the pandemic here was really crazy at that time. So it was, we had just 2 guys, and it was just me and one of my really good friends. And we were just training inside his garage just to keep it up until, you know, time started to progress. Numbers started to come down, and the gyms were allowed to open again. And then I was working one-on-one with all my coaches, and they were bringing in single people to lessen the risk so I could keep training, because I heard there was talks of possible matchups. So that's why I kept myself fit.
All right, that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and that's all we've got for JJ. We'll have Jason Jackson coming up next in just a minute.